Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Just got done running the very first session of a basic D&D campaign. I've never actually run original BX version D&D before. Already, I have beginnings of some observations on how the rules work. It's functional, I'll say that. I want to give it a bit more time before making any final judgment on Thaco. I can see that in some ways the modern ascending version of armor class does have its advantages of not having to quite do so much math on the spot, but I mean, by that token, you're also having to stop and adding a bunch of different bonus modifiers to your rolls when you're rolling to roll over an AC as opposed to subtracting an AC from Thaco. So, like I said, I reserve more time to see how well that all actually feels, but it's a totally functional game. Our characters got a mission from the Emperor Thinkhole himself to take a golden magical torch to Black Point Citadel on the borders between Thyatis and Keramikos. While they were waiting to pick up the magical torch from the archwizard Demetrion, they go down into the slums to pick up a letter from a miller, get into a fight with a couple of desert nomads, find some camels and some gear, find a young nomad lady who apparently was the courier who had brought the package to the miller that they then picked up. They take that all back to the wizard. He rewards them for not looking at the letter and bringing it to them without opening the courier packet. They take their camels and their gear. They decide to allow the nomad girl to join them despite the fact that she doesn't speak a language they understand, but she can actually operate camels, and none of them have skill in that. They hop on a boat. They sail to the city of Corindus. They manage to successfully navigate the streets of Corindus without running into any trouble, and they head on out to cross the countryside of Machetos. They decide to stop overnight at Castle Thyatis next to the town of Machetos. It's pretty uneventful. The Duke does not come down to visit them. They have kind of a drab dinner, and otherwise, nothing eventful, just some basic observations that, Joudinides, his soldiers are pretty lackluster, and the town's quaint but not really designed to have visitors. There's no hotels or anything. There's some bandit lady who has been languishing in the dungeons of the castle for the last couple of years named Demetria. Other than that, though, they don't poke their nose in any of that. It's none of their business. They pick up the next morning with their little camel train, head off into the forest on the last leg of their journey to reach Black Point Citadel, and they end up inevitably, of course, running into an ambush in the forest where a bandit and some goblins want them to hand over the torch. They get into a fight. Our elf and the nomad girl both get killed, but thankfully the cleric carrying the torch and her dwarven valet do manage to survive the fight, especially thanks to the fact that a couple of what appears to be a human and two elf rangers have shown up to take out the last few goblins at the end of the fight. And that's where we had to cut things off because one of the players had to head off to work. And so that was our first couple hour session of basic D&D summed up in a nutshell. It was all right. Everything's going smoothly. Like I said, it's going to take a few more times to really get a feel of what my actual final judgment of the basic D&D rules are. But like I said, it seems perfectly functional. I mean, obviously people were running campaigns using these rule systems for years on end, way back in the Stone Age, back before we invented fire and the wheel. So on that note, have a good one. Leave comments below, and I guess after the next session, I'll maybe leave another little summary like this. Who knows? I don't. Stay waspinated.